Ready, folks? Good evening. This is the June 10th, 2013 Rhinebeck Town Board meeting, and we'll start with the pledge with Sarah Wood from Junior Girl Scout Troop. Is that right? Okay. Sarah.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sylvia. Take care.
All right, good evening. For announcements, there will be a public hearing on the Thompson-Mazzarella Park Development Plan held by the Rhinebeck Town Planning Board and the Village of Rhinebeck Planning Board on June 18th at 7:30 p.m. That's at the Village Hall. The town pool is now open on weekends from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., weather permitting. Beginning on June 29th, it will be open daily from 1 to 7. We have a motion and second to approve the March 29th town board meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
That's so moved. We have anybody have liaison reports today?
One from the, Bruce, were you able to go to Waterfront? Because I was away, but I heard that it was a great success. Meg Crawford donated 2 trees, which were planted by the committee, and they did a phenomenal job getting them in. The trees are beautiful. All this rain is going to be beautiful for them. I don't know about the actual turnout.
For Waterfront Day?
Yeah.
It was great. I was there. It was
good.
really
Good early and
wonderful.
Hated
Yeah.
missing.
late, got really, really hot, so after about, I'd say 1 or 2.
Oh, that was during like the heat wave
Yeah,
time?
yep.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
great.
Anybody else for liaison reports?
I'm just looking, bear with me 1 second. I think the Board of Assessment Review has a couple of decisions yet to do, but there were 31 grievances and they're almost all done with their decks. I'm going to meet with Amory to go over them.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was asking her if she was done. I didn't cut her off.
Oh,
Go.
I'm sorry. I'm going to meet with our assessor to go over them. I am waiting for final numbers from Laserfiche, which is the online, optical scanning character recognition software program that we want to get for data storage and retrieval. We're going in on the Village with our tech initiative, and as soon as I get those final numbers tomorrow afternoon, I'll have a second draft to get out to the Village and Northeast Computer Systems to eyeball, and we'll get it into Owen Rafter before the deadline. So that's looking good. I think that's it.
Let's see, we've met with, I guess Kathy and I have met with the workers' comp people a couple times. I've met with them twice. I don't know, how about you?
Oh, to come down to the...
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
twice.
The crash bar, and I've got a tripod issue with an open pit.
You mean the chlorine gas thing?
Yeah. So they'll send that along. And we need some training. Probably the thing they're stressing the most is workplace violence. And then there's some technical things. But they're also recommending some security changes to our town hall. Let's see, there's a public hearing tomorrow night at Red Hook on their dog park law. So if you want to go and speak out against or for the dog park law, you might want to go to the Red Hook tomorrow night.
It's kind of counterproductive for us.
All right.
What time is the meeting in Red Hook tomorrow?
I think it's 7.
Okay. I emailed Brian Miles about some boilerplate policy for workplace violence to see if he has anything boilerplate we can look at in any program he could put together for us, because we do need to get that done sooner rather than
Do we not
rather than
have
later.
anything in place now? Is that what you're saying?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I thought we'd done it, but the person that was working on it, I guess, never carried it all the way through.
But they-
This guy's going to come in, Josh will come in and give us education.
Fantastic.
So it's 4 hours of education, like 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, that kind of thing. And he's asked that whenever we schedule it, he needs 3 weeks' notice, that the Village of Tivoli be able to join us for
Great.
that. So,
Probably going to invite does the Village of Rhinebeck need it?
I don't know, I know the Village of Tivoli wants to do it with us.
Great.
I'm going to bump up we have in discussion the sales tax issue with the county executive. I just got off the phone with, on a conference call with him for the past 40 minutes, and the proposal is just anything above $25 million of growth would be distributed at 2% for the towns and villages. Above that, it's very shallow for towns and villages to share that, and then the cities, of course, get more of that. They have a much bigger obligation. Most of us are discouraged by what's being proposed. There's other, concepts like 50% after the obligations of the cities are met, above that 25 million. One of the problems with this is that there's three entities that agree on this contract. First of all, the contract is
10 years?
It's an agreement that has to be ratified by the county and the towns and the state. The problem with, I'm sorry, I said the county, the municipalities, and the state. The problem with being a municipality is that little towns and villages don't have a voice. The cities are the ones who do the agreement for the municipalities because they have that power. We essentially have to get the cities to agree with us for what we can get from it. So that's where we stand with that. So there has to be an agreement by July 1st by state law. The comptroller is requiring us to do this. So if that's not agreed upon by July 1st, then nobody gets sales tax revenues distributed. So the issue is that after July 1st, there's opportunities to amend this agreement, and that's the road we're going down, is to try to communicate with the cities, the two cities, Beacon and Poughkeepsie, and to help them, to persuade them to agree upon something better for us down the
Do we
road.
have hope of making an agreement with Poughkeepsie and Beacon?
I would think so. They certainly, it's just such a short time frame. We were offered 90 days to come to an agreement by the county executive, but he didn't realize, I guess, that the comptroller was going to require this July 1st deadline, as I'm seeing it. So, but we do want this agreement in place, no matter what form it is, and the opportunity to ratify it after that, because otherwise we get nothing. So,
You mean to
I'm sorry, to amend it. To
It's a
amend it.
10-year agreement, right?
It's a 10-year agreement, but we can amend it any time. The 10-year concept is that we will have some sort of consistency.
To budget?
Right.
Explain the 2%. They're offering each town 2%, or,
Yeah.
say they take in 20, so they take in 26 million.
I don't-
We get an additional $20,000?
Well,
Or is it to be split with all, how many are we, like 27?
right.
24?
Right.
What's
22, I
the
think.
what's the share?
I don't know the numbers, the
And what
dollar
happened
numbers.
to the
so-
population? I thought there was also a per capita.
Right. There's also a split based upon, a distribution based upon population, so, but it's not much compared to what the cities get. So
Have you reached out to Poughkeepsie or Beacon?
we are putting together a small group of mayors and supervisors to create this dialogue with the cities. And it's
You'll
all,
be reaching out to the mayor of the town of Poughkeepsie?
no, the mayor of Beacon and the mayor of Poughkeepsie, city of Poughkeepsie,
Yeah, is
right?
that- Okay.
And the county's involved also, so. That's going to be put together through the Association of Mayors and Supervisors.
But I'm sorry, I don't understand what we get over the cap.
I don't know what the dollar figure is now,
Okay.
at this point in time. Yeah, so.
Do you have a sense of what we lost?
$42,000, $44,000.
Well, that's what was this year, and then the shared election cost brings it down to 20-something thousand, but, you know.
Well, the election cost is a totally separate thing. Just because they gave us that back
Right,
doesn't mean that
right.
we didn't lose that other.
Anyways, I just wanted to update you on that.
Thank you.
Since it was kind of a liaison type thing. So, yeah. So that's to continue. It seems to be pretty heated with the towns and villages, so it will continue.
Who was the most vociferous against it?
Everybody was, actually.
Really?
Everybody was outspoken. It doesn't matter across party lines. There were Republicans that were
Yeah,
outspoken.
no, yeah.
So,
So So the towns...
You know, people, towns like Fishkill and Wappingers, they need it. I mean, the main concept is, 2% tax cap, everybody's laying off, how can we,
Yeah,
we need
Yeah.
help too, so.
great, thank you.
So, anything else from liaisons?
No.
All right, some items for business. A resolution approving abstract 6 vouchers V538 through V560 in the amount of $7,022.36. There's a motion second.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's so moved. Item 2 for resolution is a preliminary capital project for 2013, abstract for $4,420. Is that right?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
This was what we approved for the cemetery, okay. Cemetery committee, the markers.
Yep.
Okay.
Opposed? So moved. Item 3 for resolution is approving town hall usage application. Is there a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is so moved. Okay. Item 4 is resolution approving the employee pool passes.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is for all full-time and part-time year-round, non-seasonal employees, elected officials, and their minor children.
Minor is under 21,
18.
18.
I didn't know I was on this, but
Yep.
well, I got to, we're all on that. We can't actually abstain, can we?
No, I think we have to vote.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? That is so moved.
Actually, mine's now over 18 since last week, so.
Oh, your last one is over
Yeah.
18?
Yep.
Mine are too?
Item 5 is a resolution approving the summer rec hires. Motion and second.
Motion.
Second? Any discussion?
I'll make a second on it, and I guess we should discuss it. I don't have enough information here to vote on it. After what happened last week, I'm going to abstain until I can compare it.
Yeah, I agree. We should have the information provided.
So we should hold this over?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll hold this over to next week.
Thank
I would
you.
also like to say, I know this is late notice for rec hires and lifeguard hires, but I'm willing to come in on a special meeting if we need to make it happen, after we have the correct and full information. So
Hold over.
I don't want to make it wait till our next meeting.
Make the whole, well, I've spoken to Warren about this too. I have this later in the agenda. We can come back to it if you want to.
Okay.
Well, do you want to tentatively approve the ones that are the same as last year?
No. But how do we know?
Well, we'll verify it. We'll get it, the rate.
I think the pool opens the same day as our next meeting.
These
so-
are the coaches.
Okay.
No, it'll have to wait. This is not anything, I want to be very specific, this is not anything against our fantastic rec services and what the committee does. This is a process issue for me. And I think that it's gotten to the point where we, the town board, just don't have enough oversight over what and how we're spending. And I think I have an agenda item farther down. We can come back to it if you like.
That's fine, Bruce. I don't have an issue with you if approving it if it in fact is the same as last year. But if we don't know, then it's going to have to be readdressed anyway. So if there's other ones, we're going to have to
Somebody in the
readdress.
business office is going to have to give us what the rates were last year. Because we don't know.
Well, what we were given wasn't the same as what it was last year. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, in 5 cases, you're right. But we didn't have that information. It wasn't on the agenda. It wasn't something that could have been checked ahead of time because we didn't know it was going to be on here. And as we talk procedurally, it'd be much easier if, when we're doing salaries, we know, have 2 columns. One's what's last year and what's the proposed one for this year.
Which we have that in the budget often. I've seen that many times with
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
I don't know why we can't have it for rec.
Or anything we're doing with salaries.
Right, I've seen it on others.
Look, I'm not voting for this. We had, 2012 over 2013, we had additional hires, and the aggregate hourly rate is 5% higher than it was, and there's one person that we're paying $1,000 more than we've ever paid, with no explanation. And if we're combining 2 jobs, my question is then, how can someone who only did 1 job have enough time to do yet another job for an additional $1,000 a season? So
I'm okay with you with postponing it, Elizabeth, till we get the proper information.
Are we having that discussion now?
I don't know.
We can. I can answer that one. Last year, there were 3 $2,800 jobs.
Right.
This year, there's one $2,800 job and one $3,800 job. The assistant camp director of $2,800 last year was also a counselor. And given that our staff was decimated with, we had basically no senior counselors returning this year except for one, it was decided that we'd try to go with that one person as the assistant camp director. And it's really a head counselor kind of thing. The reason you need the position is because if the camp director can't be there or is off doing something else, has an issue, somebody gets injured, something like that, you need somebody else to keep things going. And there's a lot of paperwork, and Chris and Alice are already working with that person now. So there's additional work before and after, and they do the cleanup and the inventory, before and after the end of the year.
We also have 2 stipends for $500 last year we had 3 $2,800 jobs. This year we have a $2,800, a $3,800, and then 2 additional $500 stipends.
What are the additional $500 stipends?
Aquatic director stipend and a first responder stipend.
Okay, there's the health director, the aquatics director, and the first responder. They're Board of Health required positions. In the past, we've paid $2,000 total for those. We've cut it back to $1,500. The camp director is a registered or an LPN or whatever. She's taking the health director. Cody
She
DeBet.
had in the past.
Yeah, a few
And
years.
it's basically fulfilling the job that she does anyway, so it's recognizing that with the stipend.
Well, she couldn't do it if she, like Laree was, when she was the camp director, she couldn't do it because she wasn't a nurse.
Right.
So that's why that goes that way. The first responder, it's a Board of Health requirement. Cody DeBenedictis has the certification to do that, so we're giving him the $500 for that. The aquatics director, sorry, is...
Does the LPN or nurse qualify for that same first responder?
No.
It's all moot. Here it is June, and these decisions are made, and we don't really know anything about it until we're here signing off on it. That's my problem. It's a process problem. We have a recreation committee, according to a 2007 opinion from our town attorney, functioning as a commission. And this committee is hiring people, and I'm not, let me be very clear, I'm not being disparaging of these fantastic programs or the work done by volunteers. I have a problem with the lack of oversight that we have.
That we're responsible
Can I
for.
finish? We have never interviewed or appointed anybody to the committee. The committee seems to be functioning as a commission or a statutory board. There's no rec director reporting to the town board. I haven't seen an annual report to the town board. There's no financial statement itemizing income expenditures for the current year. There's no overview of current year activities, accomplishments, planned programs. There's no report disseminated for public scrutiny. There's no prepared budget by September that comes before us. And we have no input on the fees except for at budget time. From 1994 to 2004, we had one consistent rec director, and since that year, virtually, it's changed every year. We've expanded the summer camp into a 7-week, full-day plus aftercare program, yet we have the same amount of staff in town hall that goes nuts, May, June, July, August, processing 60 additional employees. It's a huge burden. I just believe we've lost control and oversight of the budgeting because we don't have adequate communication or oversight. This is a department that spends about $120,000 a year, and it's one of our biggest insurance liabilities. There just needs to be more, all this information is great. The Board of Health, requires that we do it, but why are we getting it now when we have to sign off on it? It's not adequate. So
I'm fine with having more visibility, more planning, everything else.
I think we
I
need-
think that's great. I think we should do that. If you remember, at the end of the year, I was very frustrated with rec.
I know.
And I wanted somebody else to take it over, and I would really, really appreciate it
Well,
if the
when
town
I-
board would take more of an interest in a positive manner, and we can have...
Wait, this is all
Review.
positive. I sniffed around and tried to take it over, and I said, I think it needs to be restructured, and then you said, forget it, I'll take it. I've talked to Warren. I think Warren needs to come in here because he has an opinion that we need to review the manner in which this committee is operating to ensure that the finances and the expenditures and hirings are consistent with the state, municipal law.
I agree, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with that.
we're
I
not-
think we're all on the same page with that, and I think it is too much for any of us to properly oversee, to make sure that it's being run correctly.
We've got-
And maybe that is something that we as the town board need to hire an independent person to oversee rec in a bigger way.
We can't,
And report
we
directly to
can't.
us.
We cannot run a
I agree with you on
$120,000 department with volunteer labor. There's no answerability, and it's our kids, it's a swimming pool.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
I'm fine.
Are you,
So-
okay, so there'll be some kind of proposal that you want to make with the,
I think we have to get
Somebody-
Warren in here to tell us what,
you're talking
why,
about our attorney?
yeah, why our structure may not be in keeping with, state general municipal law, and how we have to of course, we have to push ahead with this year and do as best we can, but I think we have to look to restructuring.
Okay.
This is something that the community wants, and it's a fantastic program, but they're kids in a swimming pool and, 60 part-time seasonal employees.
This could be interesting, because remember, when Warren was here before, it was all volunteer committee. There was just, the liaison wasn't even on the committee. And that was a change when Warren was here.
What
What
do you mean it
let's
was
look at
a
it.
change? What do you mean it was a change?
They changed it from a town board member being the chair of the committee
Who's
to
they?
volunteers, the town board, when Warren was the town attorney. And
Who was the town board?
it was Steve Block, Dodd Crane, Ellen Silverstein, Linda Sauer, and I don't know who else, Paul maybe, Peter Korn. And so really, anything we can do, I'm fine, I'm open to. I think, just remember that what you just said was changed to more volunteer and less elected official control
Well,
when
it
Warren
changed
was here
again in
before.
2008.
Yeah,
changed
it went
to-
back to having a town board member directly involved.
And the chair of the committee.
Yeah,
Well,
which was what the law said.
I just believe
Which is
that
a
even...
better thing.
I believe that we need we need someone to tell us how to structure this, but I think it's prescribed in state, general municipal law, and I think we need a rec director reporting to us. I think we need someone who's,
not making decisions on their own that we are supposed to rubber stamp. I think we have to be able to have some input.
And if that's where you want to go, I'm okay with that.
I mean, the
You're going to
state-
have to spend more money on a rec director, and that's good.
if we want to offer this kind of
If we
camp,
wanna
that's what we're going to have to do.
Because honestly, and I'm past this, thankfully, in a lot of ways, but I miss it in a lot of ways too. But it was only half-day when my kids were there. There was no full day. And if we're expanding services to such a great deal in the last 15, 18 years,
15, it's like, yeah, it's less than that.
we have to kind of look at that and see if we're monitoring it correctly, and if we need to do that, and how we do it, and if it's fiscally responsible, and if it's being done appropriately.
Look, if this is what the residents want, and we can
I'm all
afford
for
it,
it.
we should do it, but we have to do
I
it
agree.
properly.
I agree.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know what the
Well,
proposal
listen, I
is,
don't think
so-
anything's being done improperly now.
I didn't mean to imply, I apologize for that. I don't, with more oversight of the town board, this is $122,000 of taxpayers' money that we're looking at and saying, was it the same as last year, is it not?
Bruce,
Does
you
it,
say
can I
that-
finish? Does it matter? We don't even know if last year was done properly, or if last year was efficient, because we don't have anything to compare it to. We're operating blindly.
Right,
So if
and
you say salaries are being raised without our approval, then that is improper.
yeah,
You're the one that brought that to our attention.
I agree with that. And it was not the direction that was given. It was something that happened in the process. I told you at the last meeting that there's $790 that wasn't collected, and we don't know where that money is. There's breakdowns, and they're not just in one place. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's also, I will say, though, that we've put a lot into the safety aspect of this. You know from a few years ago what was going on. We've made significant improvements in that, and I'll stop there, but I'm fascinated to hear what Warren has to say.
Well, Warren or whoever else. I mean, it doesn't have to be Warren, there must be direction from,
You said Warren, so let's listen to Warren.
okay.
And then we can go back to 2008 and see what happened there.
I don't understand what you're saying.
It's what I said before, that it changed when he was the attorney to the board before, away from what you're implying we need.
No, it sounded to me like in 2008 that more oversight from the board was implemented.
Yeah, but we did that. But he changed it the other way, or it was changed the other way when he was, in 2006 and 2007,
Well,
is
I
when...
think the only thing that changed is that we added a town board member.
No, we
as
restored a town
the
board
chair-
member.
As the chair of a committee, but I still think there's an issue with a committee functioning as a statutory board or a commission.
Well, let's follow this up at the next meeting and see
Fair
what the
enough.
proposition is,
Yeah,
okay?
but the only other
So I'm
point I
going-
would like to make is that, Bruce, it's up to us as the town board to direct our town attorney about what we want them to do. And so that, I don't think you should lose sight of that. That's our job as well, to direct the town attorney to do what we need to have done.
For the
Well,
recreation thing you're talking about.
I was just
For this?
any-
taking
Oh,
it out of
absolutely, yeah,
context, I guess.
Totally.
Okay.
So I will make sure that Warren is available at the next meeting, or if we have to schedule a special meeting so that we could start,
Let's have it at the next meeting, next town board meeting. Okay.
If that gives us enough time to provide what rec needs.
So item 6 is a resolution authorizing the payment of a new freezer for the concession stand.
Oh,
And that's for,
to put the town
Motion.
attorney in?
No.
Second.
Okay, what happened was the old freezer in the concession stand kicked. We checked on how much it would cost to repair it. It's probably going to cost more to repair. If it can be repaired, then cost for a new one. Between $300 and $350, we can get a decent one, depending on where you go. They last 10, 15 years.
is it an upright or a
It's a chest
coffin?
freezer,
Chest?
7 cubic feet, chest freezer, something
Great.
like that.
What will we do with the old one?
We will As a
Drill
town
holes in
board,
it.
as a town board, we will decide to surplus it, and then we will sell it for scrap.
I like that. Just check it before we dispose of it.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Item 7 is the resolution relating to the charges to town employees for medical coverage. This basically defers the 12.5% premium for medical coverage scheduled for the town's non-union employees due on April 1st and July 1st of 2013 to be further deferred to January 1st of 2014. A motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
I think this was really good of us to do, even though it's difficult.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Item 8 is a resolution referring RFP for legal review.
Motion.
Second?
Okay, what this is the engineer for the ADA pavilion at the Thompson Mazzarella Park. As you know, Weston and Sampson did not want to do that. It was not in the scope of their contract. And so what we want to do is we want to go out to bid for an engineer to do the design on that.
Right.
And it's got to be a professional
number-
engineer.
Their number was pretty high. It was like 30 grand or something.
Yeah, it was,
Little steep.
Any further?
No.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item 9 is resolution accepting the bid for the maintenance truck purchase.
Motion.
Second.
second.
Any discussion?
Oop.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? That is so moved. Item 10 is a resolution approving the release of the escrow funds for the Rhinecliff Hotel. A motion and second.
Motion.
A second. Any discussion?
Have we gotten advice from council on this?
I have years ago. What basically it entails is that the time frame in which we were to hold these things has exceeded, so I think that was the information I have had, so I have no opposition to it.
Should we check with council, or are we sure we're in, it certainly seems like we're holding a lot of money, but this was for the storm drain system. Kathy, can you speak to this at all?
Yes,
I vaguely remember voting to release these.
there have been partial reductions in
Right.
the past, but there's still amounts that are being held. I'm sorry, I know that we were talking about this, and John had pulled up some good information on this, but I did not realize that you were moving on this tonight's agenda. It wasn't on the preliminary, so I didn't have a chance to reacquaint myself with the file. So please excuse me, I don't have all of the information at hand. But what I can tell you is that my understanding is that the escrow is held, or the maintenance bond is held against any potential failures within a reasonable period of time on those drainage systems. I believe that time has passed. There was one failure, and the money was taken out of that bond. We did that repair. That money was paid back into the town to take care of that. So the system works. That's the good news. The only thing that's outstanding, because I do think that there should be a reduction, I just don't know what exactly is in there, because there's a piece of it that we would not want to take on or want reduced, and that has to do with anything that has to do with that grease trap. There's some of the infrastructure that is absolutely related, but I think this is all tied into one, and there's some that is not. And that other piece, the town has taken a position consistently now since the construction that we want nothing to do with that, and that has to be covered, separately and maintained. So I would need to reacquaint myself with that, but in general, for the drainage stuff, yes, I would support a reduction at this time.
How much
I can't
is
tell you
outstanding?
now.
I just
Actually,
got
you should
this.
probably check with, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Elizabeth, you mentioned checking with the attorney. I actually think,
John
that's
Lutz,
fine, but I actually think that we should double check with
With the planning.
engineer.
Right.
engineer.
I think that's the most important.
Engineer and attorney, is there anyone
Well,
else,
the
or?
engineer at that time on that was
Morris.
Morris Associates, Ron Evangelista. Now we have a consulting engineer, Tom Max, but I think to understand the original infrastructure, I would actually think you would probably seek a letter from Morris Associates, because they're the one who set that and had the reasoning. And I think that should be fairly simple, and again, that cost would come out of the escrow remains.
Is the agreement here? Do you have the agreement with you?
Yeah, it's in the book.
I just got it this afternoon, and I honestly haven't been able to, I couldn't open it. I was traveling, and I haven't had a chance to look at it totally, but I think that that sounds like the most reasonable way to go. I know that you guys have been very patient.
It's a lot of
about it.
money, yeah.
And it is a lot of money, and certainly there could be a reduction made. I just don't know what that number is.
That's exactly
And
it.
if we need to reach out to Morris, I'm happy to call Ron tomorrow and say, look, we need to know as soon as possible what we should hold just regarding the grease trap issues.
Well, isn't this a Board of Health issue as well? If the grease trap fails, won't the Board of Health come in and tell them to remedy it?
I think I'm sure they would. And the onus would be on us to fix it, otherwise we wouldn't be able to operate.
So,
John, do you have the agreement handy?
it's here, it's in the book.
Is it?
You know, I'm sympathetic. I think we have to move on it. I'd like to get some advice and get it on the agenda for next town board meeting.
Can I ask you to?
Absolutely.
Could you come to the microphone?
Oh, yeah, here's the agreement.
Cameron from the Rhinebeck Hotel. Basically, my feeling on this is that the agreement is fine. The agreement, I think, has stood well, and none of us have any arguments with the agreement. It's done what it's supposed to do, which is protect the town from having to pay for the failures of this system. So all we're asking is that the escrow amount that we have to hold be reduced, because we feel it's excessive. And history has shown that in 4 years there's been one $3,000 repair. So that's our feeling, that it's just an excessive amount. The agreement doesn't specify any escrow amount. The agreement itself only specifies that the amount should be held in escrow to cover professional fees monitoring of the agreement.
So you're offering the 5,000 to remain in escrow?
Yeah, which
That
I
comes
think-
from you?
Yeah, we think that's a fair amount based on history, just to keep the thing rolling. What I'm very wary of is, truthfully, if we open the whole town engineer and legal review thing, I know it's going to cost $5,000 right there, just to refresh everyone's recollection of this agreement and the history. It's a lot of work. I would beg to request that people who don't think that's necessary. And I know it's going to cost us a whole lot.
If I can get an answer from Morris at no cost.
Yeah, Ron's
Okay.
very familiar with this. So he may well just give you a...
I'll call in
an
tomorrow.
off the cuff.
Do you have the, I have the 08 agreement, and I think there's an older agreement. Do you have that one? The original is not the 08 one. And the 08, the other one, the original should have the time frame for which the funding should be held. So what happened originally was the property owners put up cash in lieu of bond, I believe, a bond anticipation note,
A letter of credit.
letter of credit. So we're in an escrow account, I think they put the cash up.
Yeah, that's the thing too, it's an awful lot of cash.
Yeah.
I think you sense the room supports that you have too much cash tied up in this and standing there.
But my thing here is that if this original contract says until this date, we don't really have a choice. I'm saying, so if I don't have the original here, this is the 08 agreement that we released some funding on. So, really, the agreement, the contract, the original agreement is what would indicate the release or not, I believe. And we don't have a lawyer here, but...
No, I think you make an excellent point, Tom, and I actually, it brings me to another, support, as money going back, but I do think the town has to watch out for all of its taxpayers and be prudent in setting any precedent as well. And I think it's not only Ron that we should check with, but it was Pam who drafted the agreement, and I think that we should...
Not the first one, not the first agreement.
No, but the second one, which gave the reduction, which would have the history of the first one.
Yeah, but that's not in here. I don't see that in
No,
here.
I know. But I think that would need to be checked on as well, because a lot of this was predicated on information that we had there. As I said, I think...
We're going to have to do a little bit of research.
I'm fine with that.
The
I'm
whole-
ju-
We'll
I'm just
try and
wary
keep it
of,
to a minimum.
the
Yeah.
fees were
Yeah,
staggering
absolutely.
last time. I'm just wary, I hope you can understand, I'm just
We're-
wary of
Yeah,
that.
I think
that's
we
all.
also.
We don't wanna spend your money.
You're responsible for
We don't wanna
seeking out
spend-
professional advice.
I'd rather spend the money at the hotel.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, we will, I think Warren was probably the original attorney that drafted it.
We could probably find the original,
And by the way, there is an insurance held by the owner too, $1 million insurance, looks like here, for liability, so whatever. I guess we need the original contract, that's what I need at least, but I think we are beyond the time in that we really don't have any choice. I mean, I certainly support releasing the funding if that's what the agreement was, and I think it was, so. We'll have to follow up on this because we don't have
get
it in
it on
front
the
of us.
agenda for next.
Right,
Is that all right, James?
okay, so 2 weeks from now, the 24th.
I'll call Ron tomorrow, see if he has any.
I don't think we need
Really?
Ron, I think
No?
we should deal with Warren first. He's got to, it doesn't, I mean, even if it, yeah, you know,
There will be a charge for that, Warren won't.
I don't know, that's the town's contract.
Right, he
You
should
know,
be
it
able to
shouldn't be,
pull up a te-
it's our
contract.
contract that we are,
That's true.
so we'll just ask Warren, you know? But want me to do that, or?
Fine with me.
Yeah.
I have to talk to him on Thursday.
Okay. All right, so we'll follow up and have this follow through on the 24th. All right, so item 11 is resolution authorizing, so that will follow up on the 24th, if I didn't make that clear. Item 11 is a resolution authorizing the undercoating of the new town truck.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Item 12 is a resolution declaring Rhinebeck lead agency for the dog park, reviewing the EAF and issuing a negative secra declaration. Motion and second.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion on that, or no? All in favor, aye?
Roll
Oh,
call,
wait, do we need a hearing for that, for secra, or no?
not according to Warren.
Okay. By roll call?
But for this one, the next one, yeah.
Okay, for roll call, Supervisor Losai, Councilman Washburn,
Aye.
Councilman Fox.
Aye.
Councilperson Spenzia,
Aye.
and Councilperson Gelb is absent, all so moved.
Which he's doing great, by the way.
Good.
Really great.
I'm sorry, who's
Joe.
doing? Oh,
Yeah, just so everyone knows, he's doing great. Wishes he could be here.
Hey, this is, we're going to vote on that thing tonight?
sure.
You bring it up and I'll vote on it. Item 13 is the resolution authorizing the intermunicipal agreement between the town of Red Hook and the town of Rhinebeck for establishment of a park jointly administered by the towns of Rhinebeck and Red Hook on the property within the town of Red Hook. This is for the dog park, I believe. Right, motion and second.
Motion.
Second.
A discussion on that?
No.
Okay. Do we need a roll
Roll
call
call.
by this? This will be Supervisor votes aye, Councilperson Washburn,
Aye.
and Councilperson Fox.
Aye.
Councilperson Spenzia,
Aye.
and that is so moved. And so approved. So we talked about the other items.
Well, we did, but,
Anybody else have any new items?
well, pursuant to the review of the resolution from last week, do we need to go into executive session to discuss that change in the amount? Or should I make a motion to reconsider the 529 motion to approve the 2013 summer season reporting form for summer positions due to the misinformation?
I was not here for that vote, so I can't comment, but I'm all for voting on it in the future after we
Let's
have
follow it up
the
so we have more information, right, exactly, okay?
I'm sorry, what was the,
Follow up on the next meeting, unless there's,
well, are we going to go into executive session and
we don't have the
discuss-
information, do we? That we need?
Well, we know the information. We know what happened. We know that, let's see, one of them, Rebecca Borquist,
I don't think we should we talk by...
why not? We
I don't
approved
know.
their salaries by name.
I don't think we can do that on,
Huh?
on,
Names and salaries are public information.
We-
well, titles, can you use titles? I wouldn't use names there for,
Okay, well, one of them was, what Alice did, and I found this out afterwards, was she took a long-term, these are long-term employees, raised them from $7.35 to $7.50, so it's 15 cents raise. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The three of them went for 15 cents, and there were two who went for 10 cents, from 7.25 to 7.35. And her reasoning was they'd been here a while, and she was trying to give them some kind of recognition for being here. If you look at the different salaries, we have some people who are making a lot more than others for the same job. And it depended on when they got hired in and when we started freezing the seasonal salaries. So some people got caught in the window. And so she was trying to do something with that. I'm fine if you want to put them back to what it was last year, if you want to go and look at all the salaries and...
I have no problem with raising someone 10 cents or 15 cents an hour. Absolutely none. I know how hard they work. I know how committed the great ones are. It's not up to Alice or anyone else to approve salary hikes. It's up to us as a board.
Yeah,
That's
and-
where my problem
Yeah, and
is.
what you don't seem, you weren't here, was
Right,
this,
and I wasn't
this
here last week,
proposal
so-
was not given to us ahead of time so that we could verify it.
Okay.
It showed up in the book that night, and I assumed that they were the same as last year.
I can see why
because
you would
that's-
make that
That's the
mistake.
direction.
I would have made that same mistake last meeting.
So-
I can guarantee
This
it.
isn't a fault or blame, we need to tighten up our,
So I think I would like to take a step back, look at all of them, actually compare, see what we're doing, and us be the ones to approve increases or not increases,
Right.
if that sounds reasonable.
That's our job.
That is
So
our
what-
job, as I see it. Okay.
we'll do
are
that
we
next meeting. right?
making a motion to roll them back, or?
We're
Unless
gonna-
we need to meet before to make it happen in time. I mean, is anyone going to quit?
We have people in place, let's vote on it next time. Nobody's, I mean, you know,
Yeah,
Right.
the lifeguards didn't change, and they're the only ones working right now,
Okay.
so.
all right? So,
That seems reasonable to me.
any public comments? Anything? So, otherwise, we'll have a motion and second to adjourn.
Motion?
Second?
All in favor, aye?
I
Opposed?
You
So
have-
moved.